Good morning, this is Steve. It's Monday morning. I'm in my 90-day YouTube video challenge. I'm really not going to count the days right now because thinking counting the days gets a little boring for me, and also I can't keep track of all the days that I'm counting. So here we go, starting off on a Monday morning. Big thing about Mondays for me is let's start Monday off with some energy. I read a study one time that talked about Mondays, the most time that people have heart attacks, and I don't want to have a heart attack on a Monday, so I'm going to start off my Monday with some energy. So how do I get that energy for a Monday morning to start off a week? Well, number one, I wake up, take my blood sugar, do a meditation. I did a 10-minute meditation this morning, and I did it on healing. And what was one of the great things about doing a healing meditation is that in the middle of that meditation, I was able to hear kind of an affirmation for I wanted to take into the day. And the affirmation was, you heal through the journey, not the results. And I think for me is I want results. I think a lot of things that brought me agitation this weekend were centered around results and results that I wanted, and rather thinking about the fact that the journey brings healing. Not necessarily results, but the journey brings healing. So that's what I want to focus on this morning. That's kind of my affirmation to jump myself into the day. Quickly went into my 5-minute journal, worked on my gratitude, what I want to go well today, and then my affirmations. So that's what I looked at in my 5-minute journal. After going to my 5-minute journal, took a quick shower, then jumped into my Bible reading for the day, and I looked at the book of Psalms. And one of the things that stuck out to me, and I wrote in my journal, always use this journal for my writing, like I said, the novel journal that I picked up in Hyde Park. But in one of the Psalms, it said, God never forgets the needy. And the thing that stuck out specifically was the hope of the afflicted will never perish. And what you see from that is there are difficult questions that we have to answer in our society. I was watching the documentary, The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez, on Netflix last night. And I work with at-risk children, and I have to deal with a lot of child service cases, DCF cases, all the time. And when you're watching this documentary, it's very hard to watch. And if you haven't seen it, go on to Netflix and watch it. Just be warned, it's very difficult to watch. It's about a child who was beaten and tortured to death by his parents, who the mother ended up getting the death penalty. The stepdad, mother's boyfriend, ended up getting life in prison without parole. And what was done to that child, you begin to question, like, is there justice in our world? Is there justice in our society? But we know that there is justice, that God is for the poor. And when I walk through my day each day, I know that I can contribute to helping those who are less fortunate. I'm grateful to be a school leader. I'm grateful to be a principal. I'm grateful to be able to work with at-risk youth. And I'm grateful to be surrounded by people who care. And that is a positive thing. So that I know that I'm at least contributing to helping others. And one of the great things that my wife and I are doing at our local church is we're running monthly potlucks with a purpose drives. So we're supporting an organization here in Los Angeles called Safe Place for Youth. In January, we did a clothing drive. In February, we did a winter clothing drive where we collected socks and hats. And this month, we're going to do a drive for our group that's going to be based around picking up hygiene products. So we do potlucks with a purpose every month for our small community group. So think about what you can do within your community to help out other people. So Monday is a new week, so I like to go to my new song playlist. So I like from time to time to go into Spotify and find things I've never listened to and listen to those things. So this week, 4 songs. Today on Monday, not this week, but today, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, not the Pat Benatar version, but a version done by a woman called Adana, which I heard when I took my wife to go see the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey movie. Next one was a house version of a gospel song. Gospel house music was kind of cool, but Salvation by the Adelpha Music Factory. Then I love a little K-pop, so Wow by BTOB, and then finally some more house music, Waiting by a band called A Friend Within. Then finally, the last song I listened to in my morning ritual, Welcome to the Party by Diplo, which you can hear in the Deadpool soundtrack. So like to find things that I have not listened to. Then finished off my morning ritual by reading a little bit of Every Good Endeavor by Timothy Keller. Really good discussion this morning. He's talking about the age of enlightenment and science and reason, and the values of our culture being driven by science and reason. And one of the interesting things that got me thinking about, he had a quote. He said, the implicit idea is that science, given enough time, will be able to answer all questions and solve all problems. And when I thought about that for a second, I thought about the idea of, number one, how much time do you give science? And I think, number two, we forget in science that we are irrational and unpredictable as human beings. So if it were simply up to science, then we would have solved all problems and we wouldn't have them. But we do, well, because we're irrational and unpredictable. For example, I have to watch my blood sugar. Now, if it was simply science and if I was driven by it, I would have solved my blood sugar problems. But because I'm irrational and unpredictable, when I met with my health and wellness coach, I said I really like to eat potato chips on the way home from work every day. Now, science would tell me that potato chips are not good for me, but me being irrational and predictable, I eat potato chips. So, accountability is a good thing. So I get accountability. And this is my final lesson I want to bring to everybody today. Get a form of accountability in your life. So for me, with my health and wellness coach, one of the challenges I have for this week is that every day when I drive home, I am not going to stop at 7-Eleven and pick up potato chips and an energy drink. And at the end of the day, I'm out of willpower. There's a great book on willpower that I'll have to pull off my shelf. And it does talk about that because we've made decisions all day long, by the end of the day, we are depleted in willpower. So by 4:30, after a day of meetings, working with teachers, working with students as a school principal, I am out of willpower. So it is easy for me to get in my car and tell myself, I want a bag of potato chips, I want an energy drink, gonna stop at 7-Eleven. And I can convince myself that this is positive and that I need it. Really, I don't. It doesn't serve me. The chips don't serve my body. The energy drink doesn't serve my body. And the extra expenses do not serve my bank account. So, for this week, 5 days, the challenge for me is to find something physical in my surrounding to reframe my thinking. When I want those chips, I'm going to say no. I'm going to get my water bottle. I'm going to fill it up. I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to drive straight home. I am not going to stop. That is the challenge for this week. So, by Friday, hopefully I will have succeeded. 5 days, no 7-Eleven, no chips, no energy drinks, straight home, water bottles, water, healthy. All right, that's Steven starting the week off on a Monday with energy and with health as a focus. You should do the same thing. Have a great day. Bye-bye.